So Jay, I got this crazy idea. I want to work together. I want to make movies together. I got this crazy idea though.
Okay.
You know, is it okay if I pitch it to you here on the show right now?
Unless you want everybody to steal your idea, I don't think that'd be a good idea. If it's a really good idea, I don't think you want to let them know. But go ahead, knock yourself out.
Well, Jay Davis, everybody, be sure to check him out. jdavisfilms.com. We are live here at Rep's Place. Be sure to check out his Facebook, Instagram, Jay Davis space TP.
Yeah.
What is the TP for?
Teen Pervert.
Do we want to know?
Teen Pervert. Now I say think positive, but originally it was Teen Pervert. It's a backstory to that.
Yeah, I mean, please share.
Because when I first started doing sketches, I had like a jersey made. I had somebody make a jersey for me, and they thought it was a joke. So I wanted my favorite number 25 on it, and then my last name. That's it. Simple. He got me the jersey. He said "pervert" on the back, and I thought it was hilarious. So I kept it, and I got more jerseys made, and it said "Teen Pervert" on it.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you got into writing, producing, acting, but that's not what you did your whole life.
No.
Right? I mean, you do other things. You got a day job.
Yeah.
Take us back to kind of where you hit the flip on the switch where you're like, I want to do this. This is something for me.
It was like 2011, January 2011, January 28th. I got a divorce from my first wife. I got a divorce. It was final that day. And then I went home. I'm like, okay, so now what? So the next 2 months, I was just like, kind of like a zombie. I was going to comedy clubs and sitting. I knew I wanted to do something involving comedy, but I didn't know what. So I was just going to comedy clubs, sitting in the back, watch stuff. And so I just started like writing, brainstorming little small scenarios of stuff that I went through, like bad dating experiences. And I like wrote one story out. It's called The Misadventures of Jay Davis, episode 1. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should try to film this. So I literally went on Facebook and like looked for people like videographers. I found one guy. I'm like, hey man, how much would it be to shoot this? He's like, just give me like $200. I'm all right, cool. So we filmed it. And the sketch is terrible now. But
can we find it online?
Nah, I took that down. I took that shit down
real quick.
But it's called it's called Down for Whatever, and it's about a true experience I went through. Like I went out with a girl, and she told me that she was down for whatever. I didn't know what that meant, so we went back to her place, and she had a roommate, and so he is a guy, and he came in the room like she went out to do something. And you're like, yo, she said we can get started before she comes back. I'm like, yo. She's like, she told me you were down to do whatever. I'm like, nah. So the sketch was pretty much about that. But it was other stuff that happened in the sketch too. Like she had a crippled roommate that showed up. So I embellished a little bit.
Man, so, and this was just one night?
It was one night. One terrible night. Yes.
So does that mean more of your shows and your current series out there are things to do with your actual life?
Yes, everything is based off stuff that I hear from people. Like little small things that somebody will tell me. I'm like, oh, okay, it like something to click. Like, you know what? I can do something with that. Like, and current news, it makes it so easy. The stuff that happens. Like, I have a segment called the Crisis Manager, and like I'm a fake crisis manager, and I like people like Juicy Smollett. R. Kelly, what's the other one? Harvey Weinstein. Like I'll call them and act like I'm a crisis manager, and I just talk about them throughout the whole thing. So current events make it easy now.
Okay, you think it's even easier now with the whole regime and everything happening in the world?
It's very easy. It's the hardest part is like you see stuff on TV, you see stuff Kanye West or Trump is doing. You're like, how can I be funnier than that? Like that is hard. So
yeah, I mean, because you must be the most interesting man alive then if this is your daily life. Because I mean, we see guns, rape, violence, sex.
I remember when I first started. people, it was like they were like, man, that's kind of edgy and kind of raw. I'm like, now it's no filter anymore. Everything's just shock value now.
So do you get a lot of critics? Do you get a lot of people? Because not especially with the sensitivity out there nowadays, it's like at an all-time high. Something to talk about.
You know, the funny part is I see people get their Facebook pages like suspended all the time. That has never happened to me. And I put and say some of the most terrible things possible. It only happened twice in like 9 years. The first one was I put like a sexual harassment sketch, and it's like it wasn't even my first one. It was, you know, when you start a new job, they show those stupid sexual harassment PSAs, those outdated ones. Yeah, we done a few of those, but going over the top. Like one girl just lost her mind, and I spent like 3 hours making her day hell. I just started sending her random sketches just to torture her. And recently, last year, we put out a sketch called The Deaf Interpreter. Mm-hmm. So it's about a girl who has an unorthodox interpreter. And it's a guy. This
is getting somewhere good.
Yeah, so I go over to the girl's house, and the guy, he's just a regular guy, and then we get to have sex, but the guy is making the sounds for the girl, like, oh yeah, you hitting it. Like, so the sketch went viral. We got millions of views. And I started getting all these messages from deaf people because they were mad because, for one, it didn't have a caption, and because Facebook doesn't do caption, and the girl really wasn't deaf. She knew a little sign language, but she wasn't deaf, and that's what they were mad about. Mm-hmm. And so they were just sending me all these messages. I'm like, hey, I don't even know any deaf people to make fun of, so I wasn't trying to make fun of you.
So, I mean, that's one extreme. What about like everything else that's going on nowadays? You know, just the trend of, you know, you say this, you say that. Do you get a lot of messages and feedback?
I don't get messages. I haven't put this one sketch out, but it's called a politically correct bar fight, and it's just like now it's certain things you can't say or you get in trouble. Like I just found out you can't say, like in the bar fight, it's a midget, and I call him a midget. You're not supposed to say that. And so everybody stopped fighting, like, hey, man, you're not supposed to say that. You can't call him the M word. So, and the same thing goes, we see a transgender woman there, and I don't know, and I call her a tranny. You're not supposed to say that, but the average person doesn't know that. Mm-hmm. And the LGBT, LMNOP, all of those letters, they get offended by stuff some people don't even know. Mm-hmm, and it's like, I have gay friends. I have gay family members. Yeah. I don't try to offend you.
I mean, you're doing it as comedy.
It's
right?
comedy. I mean, and that's the sad part about comedy now. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's one of the last few art forms that you can't put handcuffs on that. Yeah. It's like, if you go to a comedy club and you get offended, that's your fault. Yeah. Like, what did you expect to hear?
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of comedians talk about all the time. Yeah. Right? And it's getting harder and harder because back in the day, you can say whatever.
You can say anything.
I mean, is it at the point where we got to like sign a waiver to go to a comedy club?
I think so. You should, like, if you're going to get offended, don't come in. Just don't go. Like in Chappelle's special, it's like, you know what you got into when you clicked my face.
Yeah. You're watching. You're watching Jay Davis. I mean, you know, so what is your target audience then? Like, has it changed? Has it evolved?
It hasn't changed. I just try to, I see everybody does like Instagram sketches, and I get it, but it's just now we try to send a message at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like, get something from what you're watching. Yeah, you can laugh, but I want you to take away something from what you're watching.
And well, what is I guess the overall goal?
I mean, I want people to see different issues from both spectrums. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we have the Is This Racist sketch, like series of sketches. And it's just like we are at in this world, the racial climate is really high. So people can say something and they might not even mean nothing by it. But it's like, wait, did he really just say that? Like, I remember Patrice O'Neal had a joke where he was walking his dog, and the guy was, a white guy was like, hey, man, you like your dog and you take care of him? And he was like, I think he's trying to see if I'm somebody that like fights dogs or something like that. But
Dude, right?
yeah.
Oh man. And so what was the most extreme? You think the most extreme was choke on that? So for everybody listening,
Yeah.
you know, not another zombie movie, not another black movie. Choke on that, the series.
Yeah.
Stepdad's the series.
Yeah, Choke on That is just unfiltered, uncensored. It's like
It's full
like
out,
the
right?
Chappelle Show on crack cocaine.
Steroids, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say with Stepdads, which is the newest series, which just had a debut, not a couple,
About 2 weeks ago.
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You have the first episode running, right? And you can't find it online yet, but
Not
it's
yet.
something that's in the works.
Yes. We have
did
2
you-
episodes ready. to go.
Two, right?
Yeah.
So ready? Did you say, is there a change from like, you know, Choke on That was a little previous and now Stepdads. Is there a change in your message in the show, or do you still stay in the same?
It's still a message, but Stepdads is more family friendly. It's
Got
still edgy. Like we say certain things on there, but it's more like everybody can watch it. We don't have to like when me and Diesel have a joke when someone asks about like, well, how would you describe it? Is it vulgar? When anyone says that your stuff vulgar, you don't want them to come to your screen and you don't want them to show them anything.
Right.
They use the word vulgar or obscene. This is like, don't worry about it, lady.
So is it something you almost had to do just to get past the doors, maybe?
No, I just wanted to do something different. There's something different.
It's more complimenting everything else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I remember when sitcoms were on TV.
Okay.
And people can actually past reality shows, like when people actually sat down, like the Cosby Show. I'm not talking about the Cosby right now that's in jail. I'm talking about the show,
The
Pudding
classics.
Box. Yeah.
What put things on the map, right?
Right. Like the real sitcoms where like seasons ran, not just I'm getting drunk on TV and gonna fight somebody kind of shows.
So you're getting the best of both worlds, is what you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
And is there another movie you're working on as well, or focusing on the series?
We're finishing up the series. We're gonna shoot more episodes of the series, and we're actually working on. We started Choke on That season 2
Part 2?
a year ago. So we have like 20 sketches filmed and ready to go. We just have to finish them. We got about like 10 more I want to add on there.
Got it. And for everybody, they could check out Choke on That on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Which, that's quite the show. Quite
Oh,
the
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
When going through the approval with that, they didn't give you any hard time?
They did.
You know?
The only thing, it was just like it took a long time. I think they were reviewing it. We submitted it in July of last year, and it didn't get approved till like September. So I was like, oh man, I think it might be too like racy or something like that. I was getting really scared.
But
Yeah,
no feedback. Nothing?
Nah, they just like, hey, go ahead, do your thing.
Awesome. And so would you say it's more important at the end of the day just to be yourself and kind of be true?
Yeah, be
than-
yourself.
than
Have your own voice. That's the thing. A lot of people try to. I see it on Instagram. Like people try to do what everyone else is
Everybody
doing.
else, right?
Yeah, I want to make somebody laugh in a minute, no matter how stupid it is.
Well, has it gotten to the point where you had to taper down a few things here and there? Or?
Nah, I just like, and I had a lot of people originally, they were like, man, you could just cut it down to a minute. I'm like, nah, I have like a brain and a thought process. Like I think in movies, so it's like, I don't think in minute segments. So
And did that develop over time or kind of from the...
yeah, this is my whole writing process. Like everything is to tell a story from beginning, middle to end. And it makes things easier for Diesel.
Yeah. When you mentioned Diesel, everybody listening, it's Dante Diesel. We've had on the show before. We recorded that one live as well at another location in Lincoln Park. We did that one. So, what?
Lincoln Square.
Lincoln Square.
Lincoln Square.
Lincoln Park Square, close enough. And you guys work exclusively together? Do
Yes.
you work with other people?
No, we work
or-
together. It was.
I mean, I'm not trying to get anything out of you here, but is there another partner? Is there somebody?
It's Blackjack Johnson. He helps out. He's one of my closest friends. He helps out. He's an assistant director, but we're pretty much the team or whatever. And I know
He's just the cameraman, though, right?
he hates that. He hates the cameraman. Diesel hates that. So because everybody sees that, we actually got a sketch where somebody, the cameraman.
He's just the cameraman.
He uses that a lot too.
He hates it, right?
He hates it.
Oh man, that's good. So, kind of going back in the time as well, growing up, you lived in Bellwood.
Mm-hmm.
How much would you say that had to do with kind of the theme of some of your shows, especially Choke on That? And would you say that part of you growing up
I think
played some
growing
role?
up, and it's crazy because I tell people that they look at me weird. I went to private school. like grade school, high school, and I tell my mom like you wasted a lot of money. But I think that I grew up around a diverse group of people all through my life. I've been around every culture of person. That's the thing. I had gay friends before they knew they were gay. It was like two guys in my class. We all knew they were gay. It's just they didn't have anybody to
before
be gay
it was
with.
the thing,
Right. And so it's like I've grown up with so many different types of people, so it helps writing something that everyone can appreciate.
Why is that? Why do you think where you were at particularly, you've had such great experiences?
Right. I had white friends, black friends, Indian friends, and I learned about their culture too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had this thing in my head when I was in grade school, and I had to ask my classmate, he's a white guy. I'm like, hey man, because I noticed that all of the black kids take crayons and all the white kids take colored pencils. And I thought it was a racial thing. I'm like, hey man, why you got colored pencils? And I don't. He's like, oh, my mom bought them for me. I'm like, my mother just cheap. So that just clicked in. But years, I thought it was a racial thing.
You just never knew.
Right.
So now, did it make it harder though? Do you think? Especially once you kind of started being out there, when did you get out? I guess when did you move? At what part?
When I went to my life was college when I went to NIU, and that's when even going from a private school to we had religion class to seeing people openly smoke weed on campus. I'm like, oh my God, what is this?
Damn.
But then so that helped me out too because I started to see the darker side of things of society or whatever, and students taking pills to stay up. I'm like, wow, you really want to pass this test and I haven't been to class one time.
So it's all right, here, I had one extreme growing up. I thought that was crazy, and then boom.
Right.
So you're saying school is just as bad?
Yeah, school is bad. When I went to school, I didn't know that I wanted to go to school. Mm-hmm. My parents was like, either you go to school or you go to Army. I'm like, I don't want to get shot. So here I come, Northern Illinois. So I was there without a purpose.
Wait, did your mom threaten to shoot you?
Not the Army. The Army. I'm like, I've seen people crippled people. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So I went to school.
And what kind of inspired you to go this route, though? Because now you're not full time into this yet, but
right.
You're trying to make
Close
it.
enough.
I'm assuming you're almost
enough,
there.
Yeah. I just wanted to. I've always wanted to make. I've always was able to make people laugh. I was the youngest person. I'm the youngest person in my family, so I'm always the icebreaker or whatever. And so, but at the same time, I'm the quiet person in the family. I don't know how that works.
Really?
Yeah.
Say what?
Right. And so,
Jay Davis is quiet, guys.
Hey, that's what.
Quiet.
And people don't realize. People see today, hey, that's your little brother. What is he doing? that's what I get all the time. But I don't know.
Was there maybe a role model or someone?
I had a lot of role models like Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. I just knew I wanted to make people laugh. I just didn't know the avenue that I wanted to take.
So movies, is there another, movies and shows, is there another avenue stand up or say, being out there on the internet? Is there something I
promised myself that when I get done writing, well, I'm not going to say when I get done writing, but when I take a break, I'm going to write actual stand-up routine. Because I've done it before. It's just I realized I couldn't be in a comedy clubs like that and to perfect the craft. And I respect it so much. So I'm I didn't want to half-ass do anything. So I'm I'll just stick to writing scripts for now.
So right now you're writing all the scripts pretty much for every major production you've had?
Yeah.
You would say? So have you done any stand-ups? Is it something?
I've done it when I first started.
Okay.
I've done it, and I just remember it was a lot of cursing. That's all I remember.
You or people at you?
Me. Yeah, I used to curse a lot. I still curse a lot, but it's just I look back, I'm I wasn't prepared to do stand-up like I should have been prepared.
And why is that? Why do people curse a lot? Like I mean, I curse myself here and there. Do you feel? Does it give like additional power or meaning to words and thoughts? What's your take on that?
People, I guess they equate cursing to being funny or to make something funnier, or if the louder you say it, the funnier it is. And I've learned, like, especially with stepdads, like, you can say, we don't have any, it might have been like 4 curse words, and I'm talking about like shit or damn, like, it's no
That's
F-bombs,
it? Oh,
right?
okay.
And I learned, like, if you can replace a curse word with something else, do it.
With action?
Yeah, do it. So
just show them the funny. You don't have to actually.
You don't have to. So like I try to do that as much as I can.
So what's the plan next? Going up, are you did you know this was something you were destined for, and are you almost? You say you're almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost there. This is what's gonna happen. There's no plan B. Somebody asked me that. I'm like, to finish plan A. That's my plan B. So there's no plan B. So
I mean, was there a part though in your childhood that you envisioned? It was going to go this route. I know you kind of briefly touched on it, but did you always see yourself? Here I am, actor. Comedian, writer.
I wanted to.
Be, most people want to be like a firefighter or a cop. Or
I wanted to be
officer.
a gynecologist because I learned at the early age what they get to look at, and
I can't tell if you're serious.
I'm dead serious.
I cannot tell.
I'm dead serious. But my brother-in-law, he has a best friend that's a gynecologist. And when I was younger, he was in med school. And I asked him, hey, man, what is like? You see how the ladies, right? He was like, yesterday I had to tell a pimp's prostitute that she had gonorrhea and herpes. And I was like,
that's bad.
She was like, do you want to know what that smelled like? I'm like, like, well, that's what I do. Like, you know what? I might try to make people laugh.
All right. So that quickly went out the window. Huh?
Yeah. And then I'm like, you go to school all these years to deal with prostitutes? That's not a good deal.
Right. I mean, so going next step. Do you have another series in the works specifically?
I want to get through Stepdads because I think I'm halfway through writing. I want to get like at least 6 episodes done. Finish Choke on that the series. The ultimate goal is to film another feature film. Mm-hmm. We just need a bigger budget for it. That's it.
Okay. And how do you go ahead?
Out of our pockets right now.
So that's something I wanted to get into, and I talked with Dante especially. Mm-hmm. How do you go about it, right? Like you don't have crazy big sponsors or anything, booking, not pocketing, but lining up everything for you guys.
Right.
You kind of been doing it yourself, for the most part.
Yeah.
And do you think it's a matter of time? Are you trying to get some like bigger production company?
we would love to get a production company. Like here's some money.
Here's $1 million, make it.
Right. And I know a few people, and I'm not gonna put the names out there, but they got big budgets. I'm like, hey, you know what I could have did with a tenth of that money?
Because your production quality is pretty up there.
Oh, I mean,
for doing it yourself, it's pretty up there. And I think does that take how do you guys do it? Because both of you actually have regular jobs, right?
That's what everybody has. Like what you said, to be a boss, you have to make time for things that's important to you. You have to. People always say, "I don't have time." You got to make time. Mm-hmm. Like it's a certain amount of time, but quit certain things. Like if you're used to smoking weed 3 hours out the day, hey, maybe you should cut that down. Maybe if you really want to do something, cut your weed time. The weed's not going nowhere.
They'll be there. There's more and more and more.
Right. You'll have plenty of money to get more weed later down the line, but just find the hours to put in. Even if it's some nights I'm half sleepy, I'm like, if I can write 3 sentences, I'm going to be okay. And if I can do that for a week, I have like a whole page done. If I'm like really that tired and I have like a busy week, but it's always time if you make time.
And what did you give up? Is there something you
gave up video games. I used to play a ridiculous amount of video games. And I remember right when I was about to get started with everything, my Xbox, I got like the 6 Rings of Death. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. So that was the moment? You didn't get a new one after?
No, I'm like, you know what? This is a sign right there. I'm done playing. So
you know what? That's actually when I stopped playing mine. I tried rebooting it one more time. I gave it one more go.
Yeah.
Got the Rings of Death.
You're like,
that was it.
I'm done. I'm not sitting it back.
That was the sound.
And so what I did was like every now and then I wanted to play. I would get my niece a video game for her for Christmas or her birthday, and I like something I wanted to play, and I just go and play with her.
But you probably realize it's like when you play, it's fun. It makes you forget about things, but then time passes and you're like, shit.
I was spending like 4 hours a night after work on Madden. I'm like, you know what I could do with 4 hours? Well,
especially if you're productive and you're passionate about it.
Exactly.
And there's nothing better than being passionate about it and getting paid at the same time.
Right.
What's your routine like then? You got the job and you got, you're focusing on.
I'll work like I have like a script app, Final Draft on my phone. And so if I'm thinking of something, I just write something really quick or jot notes in my phone. Like
okay, so all day you kind of jot things down,
or jot things down. When I get a moment, I can come home and type it up.
Got it, because it's definitely important with people like yourself that are doing a lot, making an impact. A couple different places.
Right.
You probably keep like a pretty routine and schedule every single day as well.
I try. I try. It's hard, but because we mainly film on the weekends, so we plan a lot of stuff months in advance. So by the time we get to filming, everything's smooth.
What kind of advice would you give to someone out there listening? Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely, it's a sexy industry, films, acting, writing. I mean, it's a sexy, fun industry people want to be a part of.
Right.
Clearly, not everybody makes it.
Right.
What kind of advice would you've done quite some things. You were nominated as comedian of the year by Chicago Music Awards, as well as for the Hollywood stamp of approval of the HAPA Awards as Best Independent Film.
Yes.
For Not Another Black Movie.
I just found out right in the parking lot here that I got nominated again for Choke on That. And Diesel's nominated for director of Choke on That.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
So when's that gonna?
It's November.
Congratulations.
1st. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And
breaking
news here on Boss to Boss, pending when we release this episode.
Right.
It is breaking. If this is live, whoever's recording,
right.
It is breaking. Were you going to LA as well?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's hosted. I think who was it? Vivica Fox and Michael Blackson hosting it, so it's gonna be a good time. Not gonna do any edibles. Edibles are the devil.
Why is that? I feel like you got a good story.
Look,
I mean, at this point,
okay,
we should just have one and record an episode.
The first time, I'll just tell you one story. The first time I was there, I was with my buddy Jamel. We were celebrating, and he took me to the dispensary. It's like a dentist office in there. It's the cleanest place ever.
It is.
And so he got what he got. And I was like, oh, look, these little sour rings. I eat those all the time. I got them. It's like 7 in there. So we get back to his house. We're talking, and I'm just eating those things like nothing. Oh, it tastes kind of weird, but whatever. And he leaned over, like, hey, let me get one of those rings. I'm like, I ate them all. He was like, what? And I'm like, he's like, man, you better lay down. I'm like, I looked at it. It had like 150 milligrams per one. I'm like, oh, this okay. I laid down and I woke up and everything was spinning. I was like sleepy and had energy at the same time. It was the worst feeling ever.
Did you survive the night, or did you
barely
pull emergency room visit?
It was one of those things where I woke up, I was like, I will never do anything again. And then the next time I was in LA, I was like, hey, give me those right there.
We're only one this time.
Only one. I know my limit now.
So, I guess kind of back to the question. What kind of advice would you give for someone growing up how you grew up, or just anybody out there that's looking to get into the scene? I mean, it's not easy to do, and especially with what you've made and what's out there, and the awards you got, it speaks for itself.
Do your research. That's one thing. You have to know what you're getting into, no matter what it is. If you want to get in film, look at people who've done something similar to what you want to do. I looked at like people like Robert Townsend, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Eddie Murphy. I looked at all their bodies of work and how they transitioned or whatever. And so you have to do your research. That's the main thing. You can't just hop in there. Everyone thinks, because we see so much of the 10 minutes of fame kind of thing, 15 minutes of fame. Everyone thinks it is easy. Everyone thinks that people think that if you're on TV, you're rich. And that's not the case. If you're on like any show, they just assume you're rich. Like, no, they're just struggling actors.
I know a few people that are on and no.
I know a friend, I forgot which Netflix show, he's like a reoccurring character. He was in my like second movie. He's like, man, I bartend on the side. But people just assume, and people assume that he can get them on TV. It's not like that. You have to put in work.
You have people coming up to you often?
Yeah, somebody got mad at me, like, man, put me on. I'm like, put you on what? Like, what are you talking about? I just made a payment arrangement. What are you talking about?
It's the most ridiculous requests or proposal you've gotten.
Yeah, somebody wanted me. I get pitched a lot, but it was a guy wanted me to do a movie called Thug Wolf about a thug get bit by a werewolf, and Diesel was there too. And I have this thing.
Shit, is this real life?
Yeah, Diesel was there, and I have this thing, and I'm good at it. I'm like Batman with shit. Like somebody will talk, and I will disappear, and they won't even know I'm gone. Like, and so Diesel and Jack got caught talking to this guy about Thug Wolf, and I was like on the other side of the room, and they don't know how I did it.
Do you know the ending of the movie?
No
the story?
clue. When he said this gangbanger got bit by a werewolf, I'm like, I'm out of here, guys. And I just dipped off, and they did not see me.
So it's safe to say we won't be seeing that skit.
Thug Wolf, well, no, it's not.
How do you not take that and run with it? I mean,
well, you know what? Somebody made Sharknado, so I mean,
right?
That's a sketch in itself.
Exactly.
A sketch about the pitch.
Right. I think I do got something like that.
I mean, there are a lot of questionable things.
It's a lot. People want to do like, hey man, I used to write a sex scene for me. I'm like, why would I want to see you naked?
Like for himself?
Yeah, like why would I want to see that? Why?
A solo.
Yeah, solo, right?
No way.
Look, I get a lot of weird stuff.
Oh man. So it's safe to say you put in the time. Right?
Yes,
that's
putting the time. And just be passionate about it. You can't, if you really want to do it, you can't half-ass it at all.
So you get there, those people that have, that one little 10 seconds of fame. Why do a lot of them? Why do they call it quits or mess up? Like after that, nothing else happens.
Because a lot of people, like I found that, like a lot of Instagram people, what they do, people are used to when they see it, they don't want to pay for stuff. People who like that kind of like 10 seconds, they don't want to pay for content. So it's like, that's all they do their Instagram sketches, but that's it. It doesn't equate to dollars. And so that's a lot of reason why, like, we make content to stream and sell. They make content for followers.
So a lot that is a big thing now. It's actually, I'm so glad you brought that up. A lot of people do go out onto Facebook and social media and Instagram, and that's kind of like, they live and die by that. Right. And that's the wrong reason to do it. It's like, I didn't get into this for followers. It's great to have, I would love 1 million followers. Yeah. That would help out a lot. But I didn't get into this for followers. Like, I'm like, if you unfollow me, if you block me, it doesn't change anything. So at the end of the day, you're hoping that the passion and the truth behind it and just what you want to do is going to outgrow the 10 seconds of the little clips or something, right? Yeah. I see that going in a different direction now, because it's just like, it doesn't, no one, we've had millions of views on the sketch, and you know what happened? Nothing. Did you get some sponsor out of it? Or nothing. We directed people to the Amazon page, but nothing. We didn't get $1 million. But nothing happened. Yeah, and so since so many people are pushing that nowadays, do you think that's kind of all just inflated and maybe almost a fraud? People think, they honestly believe that their following on Instagram means the world to them, and I think that's what kills people's self-esteem. I think that's what internet bullying comes from. So at the end of the day, it's the people that come out and maybe talk to you directly or know that they saw this movie or this show and you impacted them. And does that mean a lot more? I get random messages from people who's like, man, I saw your first movie. My first movie, terrible. Like, I will never watch that movie again. But when people inbox me randomly, like on my fan page, and say, hey man, I really like The Hostile Takeover. I just saw it for the first time. You got any more? I'm like, hell yeah, I got much more. Way better than the shit you just saw. So that means that's a lot. Only the beginning. Right. Have you guys looked into like Netflix or other platforms, or how does that work?
I have an agent that I'm working with, and he's like, I just connected with him a few months ago, so he's like trying to pitch like some of our content now.
Sweet. And is that a pretty difficult process?
It's you have to be patient. Like it's one of those kind of things.
I got a friend that wasn't patient and showed up at their headquarters and then got like almost arrested or escorted. It was.
I don't think you should have did that.
Safe to say it didn't work out.
Right.
Awesome. Well, now we're on to our listeners' favorite segment of the show.
Okay.
Welcome to the round with no name because
What's that?
they're all taken.
So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw a few quick questions at you, throw
Okay.
some curveballs, just kind of get to know a little bit more about you.
Gotcha.
Especially for all the listeners, we kind of want to see who Jay Davis is,
All right, let's do it.
and you get 5 seconds. Otherwise, we got Steve Wiley over there, the producer. He's the guy we don't want to deal with. If it goes over, it's payday.
Jesus Christ.
And
Drink some water.
it's intense, man. It's-
Throws me under the bus. I'm the enforcer.
He is the enforcer. Crazy things go on in this podcast too, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. What is your favorite movie?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Classic. Favorite book?
Diary of a Video Vixen by Karen Steffens.
I don't think.
It's a terrible book, but that's the only one I can think of within 5 seconds.
See, that's what this is all about. Things maybe you probably don't even do. I don't know. Like podcasting. Do you listen to podcasts?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is your favorite podcast?
This one.
Boss, two boss.
Boss to Boss.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we got another subscriber, right?
Yeah.
You want to subscribe
I'll
right
do
now
it.
in the middle of the show?
I'll do it
Nah,
right now.
okay.
Are you on
Remember, I'm
iTunes?
here.
What?
Remember, I'm here.
Oh yeah, we do have the local level show too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Steve Wiley.
Gotcha.
Don't forget. Oh, and the Mac and Black Sports Show. That's another good one.
Top
Gotcha.
20 on iTunes. Top 20s.
Oh, that's
All
what's
shows.
up.
How do you drink your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Ooh,
I don't drink coffee. I drink hot
Curveball.
chocolate.
hot chocolate.
Like
There's
a
some caffeine in there.
5-year-old, right?
Some caffeine in there.
Yeah.
Is that what they bring you on your sets?
Coffee or Kickstart. I mean, hot chocolate or Kickstart.
The energy drink?
Yeah,
Okay. How many do you consume a day?
one. I was gonna have one, and my fiance Chris was like, "No, you don't need one." I'm like, "All right, cool."
That's all it takes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm easy,
man, I swear, if we watch you on one of your like episodes, you would not think you'd be that easy.
Yeah, well, you got me. I was literally like, we got here like 7:30. I circled around. I'm gonna go to that gas station to get one. Yeah, you don't need one. Cool.
That's what it's coming. Life's changed, huh?
Yeah.
Life changed, you know.
all
I
right,
mean,
you pick your battles. Pick your battles. You know?
they're not even worth it.
Yeah, I'm
right?
like, I'm not gonna fight over Kickstarter. I gotta save this fight for something important.
We heard it here. We heard it here, folks. What is the one item you do consume every day, though? It could be like something you eat, drink, or maybe you wear it on you. But like you can't go a day without it. It makes you
Oh, my phone.
your phone.
Yeah.
What about other than the phone? So, phones is something that we all kind of live with now.
I think water or Kickstart.
Kickstart.
Like,
hell
well,
yeah.
if I don't have one of those, my day is gonna be terrible.
Out of this whole show, I swear, the one thing that I always think of, nobody ever says underwear.
Underwear.
Or clothes.
Yeah, like the one thing you have to take with you.
Yeah.
The one
Every
thing
day.
you will wear or
Nobody
consume.
ever says underwear. I'm wondering.
Right.
about
People
these
out here commando, man.
Yeah.
That's actually a great question.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Are you currently commando on this show?
I'm good. I'm not commando. It's too cold out.
All right, we are confirmed. The boss to boss show with Jay Davis. He is not
I
commando.
got draws on.
We're good. We're good. If you had an unlimited amount of money, you can do anything you want, like start up any business, for example. What would it be? Not your own.
A production company, a film company, like Tyler Perry did, a big film studio somewhere in Illinois.
And what would you guys focus on?
Independent films,
Okay.
helping independent filmmakers get their product out instead of like shooting it in their house.
Got it. So I feel like this is something like you would be looking for yourself at one point.
I would be filming it too, but it would help a lot of people out too.
Awesome. Surprised there's like nothing out there like that, right? Like some maybe not for profit or.
Nah, I saw something like Common's supposed to be opening something on the South Shore or something like that, but that's like down the road.
Yeah. No, that sounds like definitely a good cause, good type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Say you were stranded on an island. Say tonight this happens and you can't bring any people with you, but you could take one thing. What would the one thing be?
Shit, my phone.
That thing gonna die. Yeah, I don't even know if you're gonna have service out there.
You know, I would say my cat, but it's like I might end up throwing him in the water because it's like I get like when I'm having a bad day. It seems like every time it's like something's not going right, I like look over. He's like licking his nuts. I'm like, really? Do you know what I'm going through right now? And you're like pleasing yourself in front of me. Get away from me.
What's your cat's name?
King the cat.
King the cat. Has he appeared in any episodes yet?
He hasn't. But he does have an Instagram page. It's King Chronicles _.
King Chronicles _.
Yes,
Be sure to check that out.
Yes, please.
Crazy raunchy content on there. Or?
It's just him just licking himself and doing, and like he listens to me. I like yell his name out. He'll look up like, "What's up?" Like, and it is weird because people talk to him. Like people like, "Hey King, how you doing?" Like inboxing him. I'm like, "You idiot! It's a cat." Like people send him memes to post. I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
Is he going viral yet or not?
He hasn't went viral yet, but I'm working on it. I gotta start updating this page more. But he got like 400 followers.
What is your favorite sport?
Baseball.
What is your favorite actor right now currently?
Currently, I'm always be either Denzel or Pacino fan.
Al Pacino?
Yeah.
Awesome. Classics. Mm-hmm. And what is an interview that you have been on yourself or that you have conducted that made you the most nervous? Is there somebody you met that you've come across and pretty much shat yourself?
I did. I used to have a show. It's called The Jay Davis Show. It's a podcast.
Yeah.
And do you know who Sydney Starr is? Look it up real quick.
I can't
look it
say,
up really
I can't
quick.
Say.
Oh.
I can't say I have. Sydney Starr.
Sydney Starr. Okay. Sydney Starr got famous because she spread a lie and said she had sex with the rapper Chingy. And they just took a picture together.
Oh.
Yes. Sydney Starr is
this was like viral at a point, right?
She's a transgender.
Okay.
And I had her on a guy like I got her interview. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So she gets there and sits down, and I look over like we're this close from each other. Her nipple, or whatever you want to call it, is hanging out. And I was just like, Jesus, wait. I was like, yo, and she wouldn't put it away. And it's like her transgender nipple was hanging out the whole interview. And
did she know?
She knows. She didn't care.
Did you bring it up?
I told her to put that thing away like 6 times. And she's like, oh, you silly. I'm like, no, put it away. And so I had to answer like a list of questions I had to go through. I'm like, this is horrible. And then you want to take a picture. I'm like, I just saw what you did to Chingy. You're not doing that to me.
You want to take a picture with you?
You want to take a picture? It was like me. I had 2 co-hosts. I like got way on the outside of that picture because it's like that picture.
Was the tit hanging out?
It was still hanging out a little bit.
Oh man, do you got this?
I just somewhere. I gotta look. I'll show you the interview. It was bad.
Oh, man, what'd you guys even talk about?
She talked about how many rappers like know that she's a transgender and still would sleep with her. She's like, she blew Lil Wayne before he went to jail, but he didn't know if he said so. So yeah, she talked about that stuff and how she's a hip hop tranny and she's gonna be famous one day, and she became famous.
I mean, she did it, right?
Yeah. Huh?
We're talking about her now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
wow. I mean, you're giving me some crazy show ideas going forward. Steve, I hope you're taking notes.
Get Sydney Starr on the show.
Yeah, clearly. And then last but not least, how serious would you take me in an interview? Or just if we were sitting having a serious business meeting and I had socks and sandals on?
I would bring it up at some point. I'm like, hey, what's
would
going on?
that make you uncomfortable?
It would make me, as long as your toes weren't out. Like, no other man's toes should be out. Unless we're like at a pool, like I should never see your toes like right now. So if you're like bare toes are hanging out, I'm like, man, we in the rest. We got kids out here. Come on, put your shoes on.
Yeah, kids.
Well, Miro's style is to wear the socks too.
Oh, with the
You know,
socks and the
covered
sandals.
Yes.
Yeah, you covered that one.
All right, you're not an animal, so you good.
Not in public. I try not to be.
That's good.
But you survived. I survived. Steve Wiley has been tamed today, so that's good.
People that actually don't. So how did Dante do with that?
Dante, he was okay, right? He
With
with the quick round.
Oh, that
The lightning round.
man.
With the round
you
with
were
no
better,
name.
man.
Of course. I hope he sees this. I'm better.
I mean, I'm not taking any sides at all. But
Yeah, that's my brother right there.
Just joking.
but yeah, man. Any other thoughts? Any other closing? Mike is yours. Is there anything that you would tell people nowadays struggling, going through things that you have gone through, and taking your path? Would you say there's things that you've learned from that you could tell them not to do, or are there certain things that they have to do no matter what?
It's easy. It's like some people think that people equate like I want people to support me, and people don't support me enough, so I'm not going to do it because I don't have to support them. Like, you don't need other support because nobody's going to support you until they see strangers start supporting you. And so a lot of people get discouraged when, man, my family don't even support me. Like, when I first started doing this, like, I couldn't pay anybody to be in. That's the reason I started acting, because I couldn't get anyone to be in my project. So I was like, forget it, I'll do it. Now,
Do it myself.
everybody's an actor for some reason. Like, cousins, everybody's an actor. And so it's like, don't look for support from others. Just follow your heart, follow your dreams, and like the rest will fall into place.
Awesome. Nicely put. Steve? Well, Jay Davis, be sure everybody check him out at jdavisfilms.com or his Facebook, Instagram, jdavis.tp. You can check out his movies, Not Another Zombie Movie, Not Another Black Movie, as well as his series, Choke on That, the series, and Stepdads, the series, which isn't fully out everywhere yet.
Yeah, but it will be out.
But be on the lookout. Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Definitely
Thank you so
been a
much.
pleasure having you
Thank you.
on, and looking forward to what the future brings.
Me too.
We'll be following all your series, all your shows, and especially if you want some good laugh.
yeah.
Sometimes life is tough.
Yeah.
You need a good laugh,
You do.
and I think there's no better therapy.
Oh, exactly. Laughter is medicine. Laughter over depression.
That is all for this episode of Boss to Boss. Your next step is to visit bosstoboss.com, where you will find proven techniques followed by professionals to help you make that next step. Again, that is boss2boss.com. And remember, the time is now.